That is ridiculous. Come on, fish. Just come to the surface for 1 second. That's all I'm asking. Come to the surface for 1 second. Howdy, folks. Cheers. This is Tennessee whiskey, my favorite. It's kind of cheap, relatively speaking, but it's very easy for me to drink even without diluting it with any of that stuff. And I'm gonna need whiskey to tell this story. This story, I have to make this kind of presentation because there is almost no video from it. But here is what happened. I went fishing yesterday. As I'm recording this, I don't know when I'm gonna publish the video, but yesterday I went fishing with realistic fishing. It was kind of slow, but depends on the perspective. We stopped in different places, caught fish pretty much everywhere. Some kind of fish, bluegill, yellow bass, some black bass, some crappie. And at one point we went fishing on this huge shallow flat right next to the river channel. This is my favorite to fish on that particular lake because when the water drops, all of the stake beds are out of the water. There's no more fish on them. But if you find a huge flat next to, as much surrounded by deep water as possible, these flats, even if you don't see nothing on the live scope, these are good areas to fish. You're always gonna catch some fish, even if you don't see on live scope. Trust me, I'll soon tell you why. So fishing there, caught a few crappie, and all of a sudden I got something and it starts running. And it starts running very slow and steady. I would say if that was a small striper, it would have smoked the line a lot faster. Now I thought my camera was recording, but it wasn't. So we will see what realistic fishing got on his camera from the initial run. Maybe he can put some video, but I lost the first probably 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes of the fight I lost it because I thought I wasn't recording. So the fish started running, went to the channel, came back to the shallow. During this entire time, I was following the fish with the boat really close. I was almost on top of it. Sometimes I was directly on top of the fish. And I had the live scope zoomed in, only to see the first 20 feet. And it was not that deep, like 0 to 20 feet on the depth, and only 20 feet out. This whole time, folks, I never saw the fish on live scope. I kid you not. This is just a learning experience. By the way, if you watch my videos, I always mention that. Sometimes you catch fish exactly where you cast and you see there is no fish there on live scope and you still catch fish. Because if the fish is on the bottom, you're not going to see it on live scope. I don't care what electronic, Garmin, Humminbird, Lowrance, whatever you're using. If the fish is on the bottom, the back of the fish becomes a part of the bottom. And you need a good 1 foot of space under the fish in order for live scope to split the fish from the bottom. But when we went all the way to 5 feet deep, now because it's so shallow and live scope is kind of on auto, it's zoomed into only 5 feet. Now the fish started to separate from the bottom. So only one time of this whole story of me scanning and chasing the fish, only then when it went all the way on the shallow, was able to take kind of a clear picture from that fish on live scope. And I'm gonna show you when I'm done with this presentation here, whatever video I have left, I'm gonna show you that fish on live scope. And you can tell me, please tell me when you see the signature of that fish on LiveScope, what does it look like to you? But according to LiveScope, because LiveScope had two foot vertical lines, and that fish was longer than 2 feet according to LiveScope. And it was also on top of that, give me a second, sorry, my mom was in the background. This fish did not look like a catfish to me. 2 foot long catfish is nothing to brag about. That's not even gonna break, this is 2 foot long catfish, that's not gonna break 10 pounds. Now I have landed a lot of small catfish in my years of ultralight fishing. The biggest, which I have on YouTube, the biggest was with the Eradicator on Braidwood Lake. It was about 7 pounds. That was about 10-15 minute fight. That fish was already over 2 foot long. Go watch that video. I have also landed a 40-inch muskie, also on my channel. I will put both of these links in the description if you want to go check those fights. These fights were, at first they fight, but very quickly these fish tire out. At the end they are just barely kicking and it's just the weight of the fish, but you can at least lift them off the bottom. This fish for 30 minutes never came off the bottom. The only reason I took this image at that point was because it was so shallow that LiveScope was able to separate the fish off the bottom. Also, maybe when it was shallow, the fish came like a foot off the bottom anyway by itself. I don't know what the reason was, but that was the only time the fish split off the bottom and became visible on LiveScope. After that turn, it went back deep and I never again saw it on LiveScope. So I don't know, look at the signature. I don't think this fish was a catfish. It's a little bit too much belly. It's a little too high to be a catfish. Also, 2 foot catfish, that fight for sure, way over 30 minutes. Both that catfish and the 40-inch muskie that I caught, they ran out of gas long before that, maybe 15 minutes. It feels they're very strong in the first few minutes, but these fish run out of gas. I've caught a hybrid myself, 5-pound hybrid, also on my channel. 5-pound hybrid runs like you think you're gonna get spooled. But the faster they run in the first 30 seconds, the quicker they run out of gas. Hybrids and stripers will run very fast, but then they run out of gas so bad that they just float up on top like corks. Even catfish eventually just starts to floats up and starts to roll. This fish, after 35 minutes, even when I lost it, never came off the bottom and never showed any signs of wearing out. Very different experience. This fish was slowly and steadily moving like this. Realistic fishing and I both noticed the line zigzagging when the fish is going. Just very slow and steady zigzag. And I couldn't lift it off the bottom. So my guess is I snagged some kind of a carp. I think maybe 15-20 pound carp or buffalo, something like this. The only freshwater fish that I know that never gets tired is carp kind of fish from the carp family. I don't know if it ate the lure. So I was fishing with 2-inch Kitech. I will tell you more about the gear next, but it is possible that I caught him in the mouth, but most likely I snagged him. I'm using tiny hooks, but you will be surprised how many fish I snag. I snag fish all the time. I snag crappie, I snag carp, but I have never landed a carp. Snagged carp usually goes in the grass and I cannot get in there and I lose them. I snag carp all the time. And I know what you're thinking, ugh, yuck. You know, why do you want to land this fish? Well, folks, this would have been the biggest fish of my life, landed on ultralight. So I do regret losing that fish. Sad story. Look at whatever video I have and please tell me what your opinion is on the live scope signature of the fish.
I couldn't believe it.
What? Battery dead?
I just turned it on.
I believe it.
That's the turn on sound. My camera was off the whole time.
Oh, well, at least you got a battery.
Dude, I've been fighting this fish for 20 minutes. Well, I'm hooked up with something here. I mean, it's been a long time. You gotta tell me on your camera if you can tell the time. It was a long time ago that I hooked up this dude. I'm trying to show him on the, but when he's on the bottom, he's invisible to live scope. You can see. We saw him on live scope when he got off the bottom, but if he is on the bottom, invisible to live scope. That's why sometimes I scan the whole lake. Like Bedford Lake, there's a small lake I told you about. I scanned the whole lake with live scope, I didn't see nothing. But there has to be fish in this lake. But if they're on the bottom, you're not gonna see them. He's going shallower and shallower. Very interesting. He went all the way in the channel, out there, hung around, then he started moving back into the shallows. You can see the line left and right, tail swims, or head, maybe head shakes. He's going somewhere now. If I see him even on live scope, I'm gonna show him to you, but I'm moving around and I can't see him on live scope. It's incredible. It's incredible how useless live scope can be if the fish is on the bottom. I never knew that. That's an absolute eye-opener. I have a 2 feet fish on the line, 10 feet in front of me, and I'm scanning and scanning and I cannot see him. That is incredible. I saw him on live scope just one time when he surfaced and let a good amount of air out, and I thought that was it, he's done. And now he keeps making runs. I don't know how you can catch this fish from the bank. Like, you will never slow him down from the bank. There is zero chance. Even if you're a great angler. The only hope is to chase him. Look at the angle, to chase him around with a boat. And he's going real shallow now. If I can just see him on camera to know what it was, it's already half the win. He is swimming like this so slow. Oh, I saw something. He spooked some bluegill. That's funny. He spooked some bluegill. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't want to go there. Oh my gosh, I see a snag. I see a snag.
Time to horse them.
I see a snag on the, get out of here, buddy. Oof, I think he went far. The snag is under the boat now, but there was a snag. He is running again. He's going real shallow, but there's all kinds of snags and rocks here. He's going real shallow now. Interesting. What fish goes shallow? I'm thinking more and more this is a carp. Catfish do not go shallow. Only when I catch carp, they run to the bank and try to get snagged in the grass. Wow, I think I see him. Look, this fish is 2 feet long. Look at this fish. This fish is over 2 feet long. Look at this fish. That's a clear hook. This thing is over 2 feet long. This fish is over 2 feet long. Look at this fish. That's a clear hook. Maybe you can drop the oar and try to spook it. No, don't go back deep, Jude. Shallow was fine. See, here running again. Son of a... Hold on, dude, hold on. The only reason I want him to go shallow is so he can surface and I can see him. So I know what the hell it was. If I can get him on video also, that would also be cool. Because if I lose him without seeing him, you're not gonna see me on YouTube for 3 months. I don't think he's that mobile anymore. The last 5 minutes he's been just here. That's ridiculous.
That's busting white bass over there. Oh, that's a bird too. Everything.
That is ridiculous. Come on, fish. Just come to the surface for 1 second. That's all I'm asking. Come to the surface for 1 second. Just 1 second. Yeah, I think that's him. Look, over 2 feet long. Look, 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 look. But right on the bottom again. My gosh, I didn't think that was possible. For any fish, any size, not to ever get tired. Maybe this way the boats were. Yep, it happened. I think it finally happened. We will never see this fish. I don't feel the fish anymore. He's pulling, but the line is under the brush. There is a brush here somebody dropped, and he finally found the brush. Son of a... Yep. He's going places, but the fish is not here. He went under this brush here. Yep, this brush. Son of a... Yep. Yep, that's what happened. That's a brush. He went under. He's not snagged in the brush. He's 30 feet out of here somewhere. But the line is under the brush. Yeah, he's here. He's still here. He's still pulling line. So now I'm gonna lose the fish and I'm gonna lose 50 feet of line. Come out of the stupid brush. Yeah. That's too much. Yep. What a stupid end to this story. I never saw the damn thing. Never even lifted it off the bottom. Well, I guess we will never know.